You are listening to Talking Utter Slot, and it's the quarter-final stage of the World Cup of Slot for 2024. We've had 8 preliminary games where we've whittled down the 16 teams or companies into the final 8, and so we're at the quarter-final stage. And obviously there'll be 4 quarter-finals. And this first one is between Slot.it Policar and Carrera. So...
that's an odd matchup if ever there was one.
Where to begin?
Well, Slot.it really has to be considered a volume manufacturer these days, I suppose, doesn't it? I mean, both in terms of the number of molds that there are and the number of stockists and maker of track systems. You can pretty much have a whole hobby out of Slot.it, and you can certainly have a whole hobby out of Carrera.
I think for the purposes of maybe going forward, we haven't pre-discussed this. Should we discount the non-132nd scale stuff? Or
100%.
Okay, there you go. That was easy. In which case, then, I don't think it makes that much a difference because obviously there's only a couple of them do it. But I think
He's got is a 1/24th scale World Cup.
That would be
involving Carrera, Scale Auto, and BRM. That's about it.
That's it, is it? Okay, that would be an easy one.
Unless we retrospectively want to include Auto Art, but I wouldn't.
We have a 5-way, not 5-way, a 3-way thing like the Five Nations. Anyway, I think so. Slot.it, Policar, cars, track, digital system. You can buy parts, nice models, lots of effort made to make them scale and use genuine liveries. I don't think there are any fantasy livery Slot.its or Policars, which is a bonus point in my mind.
A full-size fantasy livery when that person put a golf livery on their Porsche 956 for a historic event, which Slot.it duly turned into a slot car.
Okay. I mean, I've got a couple. I think I have some of the early days Toyota Group Cs. I've got some which are in funny. It's the real livery, but instead of being red and white, it's blue and white or yellow and white or something, which are obviously done
the competition specials.
Yeah.
Like prizes for European Championships and stuff.
Something like that, anyway. So I'll slightly discount that. I'm very much about sort of performance, but they're easy to use. You wouldn't... you could just take them out of the box and run them. You don't need to be setting them up or tuning them or anything. Not too much.
No.
So having said all of that, Carrera.
Yes.
So I was wondering when our friend Gert Frobe would make an appearance. And for those wondering about that, you need to look at the round 1 match where Carrera won. I think, although I'm sure Nick will give us more of it. So track, I would have said until recently, the best track system, certainly in terms of width, rigidity, stainless steel rails, you could leave it outdoors, the connectivity was great. So Carrera was a great track system. Still very good, I think. The cars, robust, accurate. They pride themselves on getting accurate. And I know it's an annoyance for the pair of us because it means that even the wheels and tyres are often not a standard size because they model them uniquely, as it were, for each model. Prone to doing quirky stuff. The Red Pig Mercedes, racing green trucks, Mario Kart. So
Avis
stuff
Streamliners, the 1937 car.
Avis, and indeed, with or without the necessary decals, we know. And cost effective. I mean, they're probably, 2/3, about 3/4 of the price of a Slot.it car?
I mean, everything's at the 50 quid mark now, isn't it? As a starting price. That's an entry-level, new in-box slot car. You're not going to see much change out of 50 quid, whether it's Scale Electric, Carrera. SCX is a bit more, 54, 55. And then you get up to 58, I think, is a Slot.it general sort of price, 55, 58. So that's the thing, is that in real terms, I think Slot.it prices have come down over the years. They started off at 40 odd quid when Scale Electric were 25, and they're now at 55 when Scale Electric's 53 and Carrera's 50. So there's becoming less of a reason not to buy a Slot.it if you're just buying a car.
Okay. Right, I'm going to give you the challenge. Let's hear you defend or promote Carrera then. Give me your plus sides for Carrera.
Okay. How long have I got?
Well, not I'm just
The Carreras I've got are specific cars that I was interested in, am interested in, love, and probably will keep forever and a day because they are slot cars of things that I really like. Do I like them as slot cars? Not very much. So, like, when our club we have Carrera classes, they are not generally very popular.
To be fair, those are very old Carrera cars, and those aren't they? Those are the sort of.
Well, no, we did have a Carrera muscle class which we ran up until last year with magnets in, or one magnet, because obviously normally Carrera cars have two, but the magnets have improved over the generations. So it was basically, if you buy the latest Carrera, it will probably be the quickest, and all the cars that you sort of know about are fishtailing around the place trying to keep up. So we decided, in the interest of parity, we would take the magnets out and allow a tyre swap, because obviously standard tyres on very magnetised cars are not necessarily very good. So we did that, and it was just comedically bad how well they handled.
But those are not.
We've killed the class. It's gone.
But those are not. Those are sort of narrow, sit up and beg, all slightly different chassis. It's not like we'll run a GT3 class with Carreras, which would all be roughly the same and wide and low, and I think that would make a difference. And also, we shouldn't get too obsessed about Farnborough. I mean, it is kind of I'm going to say unique track. That's not true because it's Ninko, but it's possibly not as typical.
When I went to Austria last year, and there was a slot car shop, so I went to it, and it was just walls and walls and walls of Carrera stuff, which all looked really pretty, but there was nothing that I really wanted to buy. And I was talking to the guy in the shop, and he was like, "Well, what do you run then?" I was like, "Analog." What? And yeah, basically, and Carrera is one, but other makes as well. What? So it didn't go down very well. And yeah, just look at the chassis on that Volkswagen bus. It's like a little body sitting on a brick.
But it's a specific thing. I mean, it's not for racing. It's a specific model for poodling round with, isn't it? And that's fine. As is the Skeletric one. They're probably well. There's a match-up, the Skeletric's bus versus the Carrera one. I think, and I'm not trying not to kind of get leaped too many conclusions out here. I think Carrera are great because if somebody was starting and somebody said, "I want to get into this, what would I do?" You could say, "Go for Carrera. It's great. It's expensive, maybe track-wise, but as you slowly build up, it'll be better. Needs more space, perhaps. Cars are robust. The cars are going to be reliable. There's very, very, very. I can't think of a time when I've had a Carrera car that didn't just work. Ditto, Policar Slot.it the same, I know, and there's Policar track. It's very good. It's much newer, so they've learned the lessons. It's maybe like Carrera, but grippier. A little bit narrower, so probably fits a bit better in European size houses than say in American ones. So I'm slightly arguing myself out the point here. I think there's a great similarity, and obviously Carrera's got a huge heritage behind it.
Yeah,
Slot.it Policar has got great engineering behind it. The guys behind it are proper pucker race car engineers. So there is all of that fascination. We need to make a decision. And we should say, if those who haven't listened to any of the other ones, if we can't agree, it goes to penalties, as it were. And in the case of this, that means that's the best of 3 tosses of a coin. And we're upscaling it. So where it was a 2p coin for the first round, it's now a bright, shiny 10p coin for the quarterfinals, indicative of the greater stakes involved. So I think I know what I'm going to answer. Who are you voting for in this one?
Well, it's going to be Slot.it Policar.
Okay, I thought you were going to wax lyrical for a minute and have a chance to have a drink of tea there, but
no.
you gazumped me. I'm very reluctant. I'm very reluctant to see Carrera go, but I think yes. If I was faced with the choice of a box of set of Carrera and cars and Policar and Slot.it cars, I'd probably go the Policar route, wouldn't I? So Slot.it Policar it is, and so another great. Is it an upset? I don't know. Probably not. But we'll find out in the comments, which, as we found out after round 1, can be quite entertaining. Please feel free, whether it's on YouTube or on the Facebook page or whatever. It's good to hear from you. Let us know what you think. So the result of quarterfinal 1 is Slot.it Policar go through to the semi-finals. Who will they meet? We'll find out in a little while.
Thanks
for listening, everybody.